why we upset, the reason why we never feel that we have enough rest. That's stress.
Hey, Gary, hey, look. Bring fathers be fathers with me. Let's go check where we're going.
All right, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Ty. How about yourself?
Man, I can't complain.
Good,
Why don't you
good.
introduce yourself to the people so they can know who you are?
My name's Danny McDaniel. I'm 74 years old. I'm out here in Altadena, California, about 15 miles east of Los Angeles.
So what we're doing is we just trying to come together with fathers and just bridge a gap between the younger generation and the older generation. And basically just start with, how was your upbringing growing up?
Different than what it is today.
Okay.
You know, in my generation, kids were told, you know, to stay out of the adults' way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, only talk when you're talked to, and things like that. But we did have a father image in the home. Most of my friends had males in the house.
Okay. And so and that's a good point. So like now today, where when I grew up and I went to school, man, it was probably like about 2 or 3 people in the classroom that had fathers inside of the household. And so with that, you know, the community was out of chaos, you know, like it was kids just doing things that they didn't have any business doing. So when you guys were growing up, how was the neighborhood? How did you guys keep your neighborhood? Did you keep it together? Like,
when I was growing up, it was like, you know, we could go to the playground, we could go to the park, we could go anywhere we want to by ourselves. We didn't need chaperones or things like that. We didn't have to worry about nobody doing no drive-by shootings or anything like that. Everything was pretty open. We got our discipline, you know. We did something wrong, we got whipped.
right.
You know, that's about it.
So, and that's crazy because when we were growing up, I've lost friends as kids.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to ever experience stuff like that?
I can't remember losing a friend, you know, or even thinking about being in a dangerous situation where I would lose a friend.
Right.
We'd go to parties, and there'd be fights at the parties.
Mm-hmm.
People might get thrown through a window, but wasn't nobody running around yelling gun, shooting anybody or anything like that. So it was a world of difference. You didn't worry about things when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you went to school and there was your backyard bullies and things like that. But you know, you're gonna fight your bullies and stuff like that. You ain't worried about your bullies' gangs coming after you.
And coming to shoot you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is it a difference between, what do you see what the difference is between this generation and just raised in your era?
In my generation and in this generation, there's a world of difference. Kids have to, you know, they have to be fearful. Mm-hmm. Number one, the education system isn't like it was when I was going to school.
Okay.
Not to say it was better,
right.
But there were teachers who cared about you because the teachers weren't fearful.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you go to school, the teachers are fearful.
No doubt about that.
The teachers are worried they're going to get shot or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The kids that go to school, if you're not a member of a gang, you can't go to school.
Yeah.
You know, you have to worry constantly. Your main thing isn't, I'm going to school to get an education. I'm going to school, I got to go because I got to avoid this other thing.
Right.
You know, I got to be worried about people being out. How am I going to study when I'm worried about getting my ass kicked every day?
No doubt about that. Know. So, did you guys, when you guys were going to school, were there a lot of male teachers?
There were male teachers and there were female teachers. There were more, as I look back, I had more female teachers than I had male teachers. But there were male teachers.
Right.
You know, but they were mostly the shop teachers.
Got you.
You know.
So, like, because nowadays, you know, it's probably one male inside of the school. And so what I think is happening is that, of course, the fathers is removed out of the home. So the kids hearing the mother yell at them at home. Then they go to school and then they hear the female teacher yell at them at home. And now their voice is just starting to become like they're not even hearing it anymore. Yeah. And now they don't have any type of respect.
Yeah, there's no respect for, you know, they go to school the kids go to school and they think they're in charge.
Right.
You know, they go to class when they want to, they leave class when they want to. They just talk, you know. The teacher just gives them a book and says, here it is. You know, there's no teaching.
So you think we're not nurturing the kids? It's not being nurtured?
Well, the public school system is sick for one thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's it doesn't have any control over the students, and that's partly because of the economy. You know, all the money, you know, all the kids that are getting an education are getting the education in private schools.
Right.
They're not getting them in a public school. Kid has to fight real hard to get an education in the public school. He has to more or less educate himself. You know, it's not the teacher who's giving him the education. He has to get the books. He has to do the research.
Yeah.
He has to find out things. He has to have some direction. You know, he needs to get that direction at home.
Right. And if so let's just say, so with that direction, like in your generation, were you guys taught how to be men, or what was the point that made you just know that I shouldn't do this?
The fortunate thing is I had a father that taught me, you know, respect. I got both my parents, both my mother and my father. My mother taught me how to respect women. My father taught me how to respect women. You know, so it gets emotional when you think about it.
Right, right. So in learning how to be able to treat women and how to treat your father taught you how to treat women, your mother taught you how to treat women, and in that you learn how to treat yourself, right?
You learn to respect yourself. You know, my father told me to have common sense. Respect yourself first. You know, think about something before you do it. He said everybody knows right and wrong. Sometimes our emotion just drives us to do wrong before we can think about it. If we pause, we take a step and we say, we know this is wrong. You know, we're going to think before we do it.
Right.
Before we commit. You know, you got to respect yourself, and you got to say, if I'm respecting myself, maybe others will respect me.
Right.
If you don't have no self-respect for yourself, don't expect to get any.
So what do you think that we can do different as fathers going forward?
The first thing, the father's got to be there, or the father image has to be there. The big brother, the uncle. Sometimes, you know, our fathers are locked up or put away. He can't be there, but somebody has to step in for that father. You know, somebody has to teach that young man respect for himself.
Right. And that's a thing, because the now when you got the crack and you got all this different type of stuff, what happened is that, you know, I know in my generation, our grandmother died. So my great grandmother died. And so once my great grandmother died, we had the house that we all used to go to.
Yeah.
And we lost that house. So then now the family's all divided. It's all over the place. So like you said, you want the uncles and this and this. It's so much division that happened in between that we have to be able to try to, how do we repair that division?
You know, it's not an easy situation, because like you say, if the father's not there, the home is lost. The gathering place for the family is gone. You know, I can't tell you how to fix that situation. Somebody, you know, it's almost sounds like it's unrepairable.
Right.
You know, because there is no common place for them to meet, for somebody to take them by the hand.
Right.
But you have a lot of different programs now, but you have to have leadership to show you the way to the program. You just don't think, oh, I could go over here to this program and maybe they'll help me out. I can go to the Boys or Girls Club.
Right.
You know, and get situated. Somebody has to show you the way.
That's it.
You know, but you gotta want to know the way.
That's it.
You know, you gotta know it's there.
That's it. So, if you could just say one thing to this this generation of fathers, generation of kids, what would you say to them?
You got to say two ways. The fathers, you got to take charge. You got to get involved. You know, and the kids, you might have to look for that father. You might have to look for that brother. He might not come to you. You might have to go tag, you know, your reverend or you know, or something. You might have to just go to that playground and try that program director.
Yeah.
You know, but it works both ways.
We just want fathers to be fathers. You know what I mean? You got any closing words you want to say to them?
I just want, you know, people should understand California is not the greatest example of what America's like. America is a lot different with California. We have it easy in California. We are truly blessed out here. Understand, you have to help yourself.
Just relieve it off your chest, coming high.